the Brockweir Wassail. Wassail, a wassail about our town. The cup it is black and the ale it is brown. The cup it is made of the mulberry tree. So here, my good fellow, we'll drink unto thee. Here's to the quick and to the white horn. Pray God send the master a good crop of corn, both wheat, rye and barley and all sorts of grain. So here, good fellow, we'll drink to thee again. If your missus or master they may be not at home, for if they be abroad, God send them safe home. For if they be at home, let them live at their ease. So fetch out the white loaf and the whole cheese. Come all you pretty maidens that reel on your pins, pray open the door and let the wassailers in. For if you be maidens or if you be none, pray don't let the wassailers stay on the cold stones. For if you be maidens or if you be none, pray don't let the wassailers stay on the cold stones.
So is it okay if I start by asking you some questions?
Yeah, of course.
So could you start by introducing yourself and your role in the Wassail this Saturday?
Oh right, my name's Janice Lightly, originally from Brockweir. My maiden name was Williams, and I grew up on Brockweir Common. I was asked to help out with the Wassail because I kind of learnt the Brockweir Wassail song quite a few years ago. So that's how I, started to get into wassailing, and yeah. So they asked me to come along and help them sing it.
Okay. And how did you first get involved in wassailing?
Wassailing. It's really not until latter years, but we'd heard about wassailing as we grew up. Wassailing was more going round and knocking on people's doors and singing songs. My grandson used to go wassailing, and he kept Spring Farm, and he had a milk round which he did on the horse and cart, and he'd go around wassailing. And the story was that he used to get so drunk because he had a drink at every house, they'd just throw him on the back of the milk cart and the horse knew its way home. So that was my introduction to wassailing anyway, stories of him. But really it's only latter years I've gone to the wassails. I suppose the Chepstow Wassail was the first one I've been going to for about, 14, 15 years.
And how did you hear about those stories about your...
Oh, online. Oh, you mean the stories about my grandfather?
Yeah.
Well, it was just family stories, that were told, handed down from generations.
So you have a kind of history of wassailing in your family?
Yes, yeah.
Can you remember your first wassail?
Well, it would have been the Chepstow one, personally, about probably 14 years ago, where they have the Mary Lloyd as well, where they have the horses' heads all dressed up, and they get all the Morris dancers, the English and the Welsh. They used to meet on the bridge in the middle, and the English used to have to ask permission to cross over. And then of course they do all the blessing of the trees in the Castle Dell. Yeah, it's a big affair.
Has it changed much over those 14 years?
Only now they don't meet on the bridge. They meet on the Welsh side of the bridge, because it all got too big, and so they kind of don't block the traffic anymore. They just have it on the Welsh side.
Has it grown in size?
Yes, it has. Yeah, yeah, it has. It's a massive affair now. But there's other wassails in the area. So far this year, I've been to the Berry Hill Wassail and the Worcester Walk Wassail. They were very small affairs, but really nice, intimate gatherings.
Is it the first time that these kind of events have been, the smaller events, are it?
No, they've been going for years. Yeah. I think the St Breville's one, I think I'm right in saying this is the first one here. They've not had one here before. I might be wrong. I think Mike's probably the best person to ask about that.
Yeah, I think he said they'd had one the previous year.
Yeah.
When they first established
okay.
the orchard, but this was the second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a bit of a revival?
Definitely, yes. Yeah.
Why do you think that could be?
I don't know. People's connections to the past and yeah.
How does it feel to lead the Brockweir Wassail this Saturday?
St Breville's Wassail.
The St Breville's.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm leading it. I'm leading the Brockweir Wassail song, but Mike is the one that's leading it. He's going to be kind of officiating. And the Bella Mamas are going to be there singing some songs too. I think we're going to do the Brockweir Wassail and the Gloucester Wassail, and there's a lovely winter song they're going to sing as well.
And did they request for you to bring the Brockweir?
Yes,
Wassail?
yes they did, yeah.
And what's your connection to the Brockweir?
The Brockweir Wassail? Well, an old family friend called Jim Simpson, he lives over in Catbrook, he said to me years and years ago, he said, have you ever heard of the Brockweir Wassail? And I said, well, no, I haven't. And he said, well, I'll send you the lyrics and the music. So he did that. And I also looked it up online, and I found an old recording of Charlie Williams singing it. I think it was recorded in the 1970s, but he'd learnt it in the early 1900s from his ancestors. So I learnt it, and me and my husband Alistair, we started performing it around all the folk clubs in the area around this time. And then I bumped into Jim years after at the bread and cheese ceremony in St Breville's. And while I was thanking him for sending me the lyrics, and I told him what I'd done with it and the fact that I'd heard Charlie Williams singing it, my dad was in earshot, and he suddenly chirped up and said, you do know you're related to Charlie Williams, don't you? Well, I had no idea, because he was the one that's done all the family history side of things. So yeah, it felt like the song had come full circle, you know, and there I was, a relative of Charlie Williams singing it in the area. There is a video on YouTube actually of me performing it, and this story as well.
Oh, okay, we have to check on that. So you've sung the Brockweir Wassail at other events?
Not wassails, but I've sung it in the folk clubs. I think this is the first time I've actually performed it at a wassail.
And did it change your connection to the song, knowing that you had that?
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
What are you most looking forward to in the wassail this Saturday?
It's just, well, the whole thing really. The whole, what's the word? Tradition of, you know, getting rid of the evil spirits and bringing the fruit trees back to life so they can bear fruit for the community, with it being a community orchard. And just a gathering of like-minded people and singing songs, and just the general atmosphere is just lovely.
In what way do you think that it's important for the community?
Oh, to bring people together, very much so. It's a lovely community here, and a lot of things go on in the village, and everybody's very community spirited. Yeah, very important.
What do you hope that people will take away from the event?
Well, again, their sense of community and belonging. And it's so nice to see so many people. There's not so many local people living here anymore, but the people that have moved in from outside are so lovely, and they've really got into the spirit of living in a village. And it's not like at one time there was like a them and us situation. It's not like that anymore, I don't think. Everybody gets on well together, and they join in and do things, and yeah.
So at the Wassail, do you think there'll be a mix of
Yes,
people
they
attending?
will, I'm sure, yeah.
And why do you think it's important to keep this tradition alive?
Oh, for future generations. It's just, I can't say why. It is just very, very important for these traditions to continue. Yeah.
And in that case, do you hope that the kids will also be
Yes,
getting involved?
yes, yeah. I mean, there's the big tradition of the bread and cheese ceremony. That's another very important gathering in the village. And hopefully the younger generation will carry that on in the future.
What takes place at the bread and cheese?
You don't know about the bread and cheese ceremony? Oh my goodness! Right, it's the Chiswick family. Gerald Chiswick is, so say, king of the Hudnalls Wood. Parishioners of St Breville's are allowed to let their animals roam free in the wood, and you can carry wood out by hand. And these rights were given by the Earl of Hereford back in the 1100s. Apparently they were procured by his wife, so say, riding naked in the manner of Lady Godiva around the Hudnalls Wood itself. So every year on Whit Sunday they throw bread and cheese, little bits of bread and cheese, out to the people, and we all stand there and catch it, and that keeps the rights of the woods open for the parishioners. It's a really ancient custom.
What time of year does it?
Whit Sunday, it's always Whit Sunday,
Okay.
in the evening, usually after the church service.
I'll have to get down to that.
Oh, you
Sounds
must,
great.
yes, yeah.
How do you think that the wassailing event impacts the orchard as well?
It'll give us more fruit,
Yeah.
better, sweeter fruit. Yeah.
So have you been involved with the orchard in St Breville?
No, I haven't actually. No, I wasn't involved in the original planting because I was working. I'm retired now, and I just didn't have time to get involved in that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's nice to be involved now, to have the time to be involved in these things.
And through wassailing, you can
Yes, yes.
bring the clocks on. And if your relatives could see you leading the song this year, what do you think they would feel?
Oh, they'd be really proud. Yeah, definitely.
Amazing, thank you so much.
It's all right.
Is there anything else that
I don't know. What else I can add to that? No, I can't think off the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah. That was lovely.
Great. Will that be all right, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, really lovely. Especially, I love the story as well of the of going your grandfather.
Grantshire. It's Grantshire is like a forest name for a grandfather.
Oh, okay.
So Grantshire's, all the old foresters will say Grantshire rather than Grandad.
Ah, right. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure.
He was always called Grantshire to us.
Grantshire. Would you be happy to sing the?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'll just make sure that's still recording. The Brockweir Wassail. A cup it is made of the mulberry tree. So here, my good fellow, we'll drink unto thee. Here's to the quick and to the white horn. Pray God send the master a good crop of corn, both wheat, rye and barley, and all sorts of grain. So here, good fellow, we'll drink to thee again. If your missus or master, they may be not at home, for if they be abroad, God send them safe home. For if they be at home, let them live at their ease. So fetch out the white loaf and the whole cheese. Come all you pretty maidens that reel on your pins, pray open the door and let the wassailers in. For if you be maidens or if you be none, pray don't let the wassailers stay on the cold stones. For if you be maidens or if you be none, pray don't let the wassailers stay on the cold stones.
Amazing.
Great.
You have a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. I don't get told that very often.
I'm very happy to send over the recording as well if you'd like.
Sorry?
I'm very happy to send the recording as well
Oh,
if you'd
fab.
like.
Yeah,
If
thank you.
You have it also on your YouTube? You were saying you have a YouTube?
Yeah, I've got a YouTube.